Yeah, Brett. Wounded and insecure people thrive on anonymity to lose their frustrations, and the internet provides that. You're not wrong. I would also say too, there is a danger to that. We kind of briefly touched on this yesterday. I've seen some more videos this morning and last night addressing the Asmongold situation, and I went back and I watched Asmongold's, well, at least a portion of his apology circuit that he's making. And what I found interesting, there's no way I'm doing this. I'm gonna die to try to do this fight. Hold up, I'm gonna have to actually pay attention here. The the apology circuit, and what he's basically saying is that over the last 2 years, and I'll fully agree with him on this, he was like, over the last 2 years, I have, and this is, I'm paraphrasing his words because I don't have the video clip pulled up in front of me. He was talking about over the last 2 years, I have increasingly found myself becoming more hateful, more insular, more ranty, more all of these things. And we were discussing this yesterday because I hadn't watched that video when I made the comment yesterday about how I said the danger of living in a bubble as a content creator is that if you don't, because we were talking about hugs and hand jobs, right? It's like everybody needs a hug and a hand job for, to put a smile on their face. Joking about this, right? I was talking about how if you don't have a loved one in your life, it's really easy to become an insular, hateful incel. And I'm very blessed to have a wife who loves me and someone who is there for me every single day and who supports me in all the things that I do and is there as a counter to all the negativity that I interact with on a daily basis as a content creator and streamer in the internet space, because it's a cesspool out there. Like, try to navigate that without anybody as your backup would be a nightmare. I wouldn't want to do that. And I even said yesterday, I said, if I was doing this alone, I would probably also develop a very hateful persona because of just the constant, you are what you surround yourself with, right? And Asmongold has put himself in a position of surrounding himself with a bunch of angry young men who don't have anybody in their lives that love them, and all they feel is anger and hate. And as a result, all they know is anger and hate. And so they lash out at everyone and everything. And I'm not in the camp that thinks Asmongold needs to be canceled forever. I definitely think he needs repercussions for his actions. Twitch ban is a great start. He stepped down from his leadership positions. That's a good start. He made an apology video. The apology video sounded sincere to me. What I appreciated about the apology video was that he talked about in that video that he has become increasingly more angry and insular and pissed off over the last 2 years. And that's the direct result of that community egging him on and provoking him to become this monster. Because why not love to be hated? Why not? I'm generating millions of views and millions of dollars. Why not become the monster that everyone wants me to be? And he talked about in that the apology videos, like even his dad has been telling him, dude, you got to chill out, you need to calm down, like you need to take a step back. And it wasn't until he got called out for being a racist dipshit that he actually took a step back. And because now he's feeling that pressure of, I could potentially lose everything I have because I let myself get wrapped up in this insular celebrity status where I thought that I was someone really important, and all of these people are egging me on. I need to pay attention because if this dude's running up here to kill this thing, I need to do that as well because I don't want to take it on by myself. Um, anyway, in that video where he was talking about that, we had discussed this the other day about how one of the reason that I stopped watching him was when and I've always sort of kept it in the, not watched him regularly, but I've always enjoyed some of his rants and some of his discussions because he is a bright person. He's not a stupid person. But the disconnect for me really happened with the Tales of the Shire. When that game started promoting and he came out and he looked at the girl with pink hair and the girl with the tattoos and he was like, "Oh, this game's gonna be a woke piece of shit. I'm not gonna play this because look at these women. Look what they look like." And I went, dude, That you've never played the game. You've not looked at anything about the game. You don't know anything about the game. You're literally just trash talking someone because of the color of their hair. That is not cool. Like, you can't do that. And then here we are 2 months later or whatever, and he goes out and makes all the comments about the people from Gaza and the Palestine conflict and everything else. And he took it up another notch. He was like, well, it wasn't hateful enough to call somebody out because they have pink hair, and I'm gonna poke fun at the pink haired DEI lesbians and people who are trans, and I'm gonna hate on the LGBTQ plus community. Now I'm gonna hate on these people too because that's what my community is fostering. So I was glad to see him acknowledge, at the very least, in that space of a apology video, that he has become a rage bait person over the last 2 years, and recognizing that he has let himself get out of control. Now, there are people on either side of the fence about whether or not the apology is sincere or not, and I'm not a cancel someone forever. I do think there need to be repercussions, um, but hopefully he learns from this and comes back to be a better person, because we've all fucked up in our lives at some point. But that's the kind of stuff that leads to the conversations we were having yesterday, and the types of trolls that we have attacked this channel, because those trolls are allowed to foster and grow stronger in environments like what Asmongold cultivates. And then they come over to other people's channels and they try to do the same thing, and it's like, we don't want you here. Like, this is not that type of environment. Like, and so I will always push back against that really hard. But I also think it's important to recognize that we can we can critique someone's actions and call them bad while also supporting them as an individual and hoping that they get the right help they need, and also promoting the help that they need. Thor from over at Pirate Software had a really good discussion on X yesterday about how, looking at the Asmongold situation as an example, like, that is something where, you don't, you definitely want to condemn the actions, but you don't want to condemn the person. Um, Hang on, I'm going to die here if I don't pay attention. Important to, oh, I'm gonna die a horrible death. Yeah, I'm dead. Important to condemn the actions but not the person, and make sure that they have the support group needed to become the better individual, to become a better person, to learn from their mistakes. Because if everyone just piles on right now and says, fuck Asmongold, cancel him forever, he needs to die, he needs to have everything taken away, we're not actually helping him get better. We are now pushing him further into the hate-filled cave. And that's not what we should be doing to anybody. Definitely say, hey man, you fucked up. Like, you need to apologize for that. And you need to spend some time in purgatory maybe and think about your actions. Go sit in the corner for 30 minutes and think about what you did wrong and come back and let's talk about it. But he doesn't need to be thrown in the doghouse forever. But I do think that, like, the people who were in my channel yesterday attacking my wife and insulting her, that is the direct result of stuff like that being allowed to persist. And it's a good thing that he got the ban at the very least, because one of the things that, I make a living off of advertising money. And like Thor was talking about, he's like, my ferret rescue runs entirely off of the ad revenue from Twitch. So he's like, Twitch banning him is a good thing because you don't want advertisers getting panicked and leaving, because that happened a few years ago on YouTube. There was the adpocalypse is what it was called, and a lot of YouTubers lost like 80% of their revenue because all the advertisers left because they were allowing Jake Paul and his brother and other people to just post absolutely ridiculous stuff. And YouTube finally had to step in and say, okay, we have to put some guidelines in place because we don't want advertisers going anywhere, because this is our ad revenue. This is our revenue model. Like, we need to put rules in place. So I'm glad that Twitch banned him. And, because as someone who lives off of ad revenue, I don't want the advertisers to go anywhere, because this is how I make a living, you know. But at the same time, no one needs to be put in the doghouse forever. But Yeah, Brett, I hope it shakes him out of the cycle he's been on a human level, not the creator level. Just on a human level, like, wake up, shake it off, buddy. Go do some time and think about your actions and come back and be a better content creator. Rossi says communities help keep the trash out by immediately speaking up and disagreeing with comments when they see them online. If they feel outnumbered, they tend to leave. Yes. Kyle Talk said, why would people attack Chris? She's awesome. Dude, yeah, yesterday was wild. We got raided yesterday by like 300 and we were already having good numbers. We've been doing like I think 80 to 90 people is the average for the New World streams, which is pretty good for my channel. And then yesterday we had a raid of like 300. It was almost 400 people on Twitch. And then at the same time, you know, it was just everybody's piling on. We had all these new people, and we had a guy who came over to YouTube and was just being really obnoxious. Yeah. But that is the one thing I appreciate about my community is we also push back against that kind of behavior. So I appreciate everybody else for being here for that as well.